Good day everyone. In today's course, we'll be learning about an alternate platform for Python programming, and the platform name is Colab, that is hosted by Google. Then in Google's Colab, we will try to execute some simple Python programs, and I'll be giving you an introduction to Python variables using Colab as well. So for using Google's Colab, what you have to do is you need to log into the page colab.research.google.com, and in that directly you can sign in using your Google credentials. So here you can see it is asking for sign in. I would like to give my username and password for the site. A new pop-up has come, and here starts the magic of it. You can hit on cancel first. Then again we will go with the usual path. So for that, first of all, you would take file and you can take new notebook. Google's Colab is a Jupyter notebook environment that is hosted in the internet. That is an Python IDE you can use without any installation that should be made in your computer. So it is very easy to use the Google's Colab. So here you can rename it. Say I would rename that to Python class 1, and here only you need to execute all of your programs. Okay, so how to know where it is saved? So for that you would click on file, then you can click on locate in drive. So here you can see our Colab document is already present. Okay, so once you have done this, whenever you are opening your Google Drive, there you can see a yellow colored folder, and this is nothing but the Google's Colab folder. All your notebooks, it will be automatically be saved inside this folder. Okay, so once we have learned how to open Colab in your computer, you can directly start with programming Python using Colab. So first of all, we would like to study about the interface. That is, this Google Colab, it is not using any resources in your computer in order to run the program. Instead, what is happening is, in the backend, there is Google's own servers, and you are getting an access to that server via this interface. So here you can see there is a connect option. First option is connect to hosted runtime, and second option is connect to local runtime. Hosted runtime is nothing but Google servers, and local runtime is nothing but your computer. Usually we will be selecting the first option. So now you can see it is connected and it is showing some RAM as well as disk information. This is the RAM and disk information of Google server only. So now you can see you are getting some 12.72 GB of RAM and 107 GB of storage. This is not pertaining to your computer but Google server. Now how to code in Google's Colab? In previous class, using Spider, we have already learned how to print anything in Python. So same program we will try here also. Let us try to print my name. So for that, here you can see a cell here. This is the part where we will be writing programs. So here we will just type print and okay. So here directly I have written the code. Now how to execute that? It is very simple. Either you can click on this play button or you can click on Control plus enter. So I have pressed the play button. Here you can see it is executing, and finally I have got my result, Vishnu Raj. Okay, so instead how to change the name? Directly inside whatever you are printing, it will be coming here. if you need to put some comments in Python, that is some values that you have to read but computer need not show that or need not execute that. So for typing in such values, you can always use a hash key. Okay, so afterwards you can simply type anything. This is my first program, and if you are executing that, still you can see hello world, but this thing it will not be getting executed because this is a comment. There is another way to comment this, that is by starting with 3 inverted commas and ending with again 3 inverted commas. This is not a standard way, but still it is usable for commenting lots of lines in Python together. Here we can see I had used separate hash keys for each and every line, but over here you can see at the beginning and the end only I have used the triple inverted commas. Now we will learn how to assign variables individually. So for that, first of all we need to know what are meant by variables. In Python there are 5 standard data types. So first one is numbers, that is numbers like 1, 0.5, all these things comes under numbers. So the number 1 it is generally known by the name an integer, and number 0.5 it is generally known by the name a float. Next thing is string. String is nothing but a collection of letters or characters. So if I am writing Vishnu, that is a string. Next is a list. List is a combination of anything like numbers or strings, a list of all these things together. Another one is tuple. It is similar to the list, but it has got some more less amount of features I would like to see. And last one, it is dictionary. We will not be discussing about dictionary in this course, because this is just a basic start for Python, but in the coming courses we will be including this as well. So how to assign values? We will first start with integers. I can give a is equal to 1. So this is how you assign values to a integer variable. So here you can see a is nothing but a integer variable only. Now next I would like to give b is equal to 0.5. This is nothing but, b is nothing but a float variable. So automatically Python will be knowing what variable it is based on the value assigned to it first. Then I can give c is equal to hello. That is a string variable. C is a string variable here. Next I can give d is equal to, inside square brackets, 1.5 and hello. So as I told before, this d is nothing but a list variable. That's a combination of numbers and strings. It may not be necessarily numbers and strings alone. It can be any type of variables inside the list. Then e, I can give it inside normal brackets, 1.5 and hello. So e is nothing but a tuple. This is how we assign variables individually in Python. Now once they are assigned, again you need to execute this line in order to assign them properly. So for that you need to click over here. Okay, something has happened, but you are not seeing any result. Why you are not seeing any result is just because you haven't printed anything. Okay, so we will try to print these things one by one. Print. I would like to print say first one and second one together, a comma b. I would like to print that. So here you can see print a comma b is giving me 1, 0.5, correct only. Then I can print 1, 0.5, then I can print d. What is going to give me? So here you can see 1 is there, 0.5 is there, and hello is also there. Correct. So this is the way you can start with assigning variables in Python. Now we will start with reassigning some variables in Python and also playing with some of the string functions. So how to do that? Again, this variable, that is variable a over here, was a integer variable only. I am going to reassign this integer variable with a string. So EA is equal to, this is my first class on Python. Okay, again, to assign this you need to play this. Yeah, something has happened. And in next line we would like to print not the complete thing, instead a 0 to, say here this colon means 2, okay, 0 to 5. What is going to happen? We will just see. See, it has not printed the entire thing, instead it printed only this. Why this came? That is just because here I have not given a alone. Next to a I have given inside square brackets some values also, correct? So what are these values? Here 0 means nothing but that's a starting value. This starting value can be anything. Okay, usually in Python everything starts at 0, not 1. Okay, so if I am including 1 over here instead of 0, you can see like my first character will not be getting printed. Okay, so that's why everywhere we have to start with 0 only. So 0 will be getting printed over here, that is 0 means the character at position 0 inside A. So T will be getting printed, then 0 up to what? 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. It is not including 5. Getting the point? It is not including 5. So 0 to 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 will be getting printed. 5 won't be getting printed. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 including this space. Okay, let us avoid that space also. Perfect. So here you can see this has got printed. Instead of printing this, if I had to print is, what I have to do? I would just count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I is starting at 5. So 5 and S is 6. Should I give only 6 here? No, because it is not including 6. I have to give 7 here. See, as simple as that. So this is a very generic string operation in Python that we will be regularly using. So is there any way to print some 2 or 3 parts of this string together? Yeah, it is easily possible in Python. So for that what you have to do is print. Again you will give, then first part I can include here. Say first part I will give this itself. So for that A starting from 0 to 4. Okay, then you can directly give either comma or you can give plus, because that string portions we are adding up together. Okay, it is not like mathematical adding up, but we are just arranging the strings together. Plus A of, say I need to print the last this many letters. So for that I will just count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26. I need to start with 26, and it is not necessary to give the last number here because it have to start at 26, that is P, and it have to go all the way up to the end, right? So we can also leave it as it is, 26 up to, let me give that to the computer will take it all the way up to the end. We will just see what is going to happen. See, this and Python came, this plus Python. Okay, say if I need to give a space in between, it would be so nice, right? So for that again I can give another plus and in between these pluses I can give space directly. That is, here no variable is there. These two were a part of this variable a, but here I am not including any variables. Instead I have directly included a space. You can write to print that, and here you have got this Python. Now a few things we will learn regarding the lists. So here this cell I would execute one more time so that all these variables are reassigned, and again I can start here itself. I have created a new cell, and in this cell I would like to print only, say, one of the values inside this list. So for that, again you can give print and inside D, and same like we have done with the strings. Here also you can start with a square bracket and I can give the values inside. Okay, say I need to print only this one. Do you know what will be the number for this one? I always told in Python everything is starting with zeros. So this one will be at the 0th position, this one will be first position, and this is at the second position. So we will just see whether it is coming correct. Yes, it is coming exactly correct only. What about if we are giving 2? It have to print hello, right? Yes, it is coming exactly as hello itself. What if I need to print only, I can avoid this O. So for that what I have to do? Inside this itself, again I can include a square bracket, and inside that I can give the starting point and the end point. End point can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 can be the end point. 4 is it is not inclusive, but 4 will be excluded. So we will just see. Yes, hello turned to hello. So one more additional thing, is this 0 really mandatory here? If it is starting at the 0th position, it will not be mandatory, right? Because last time we have seen, if we are avoiding the last number, it will go all the way up to the end. So if we are avoiding the starting number, it have to start at the very beginning, right? We'll just try to see. Yes, it's working perfectly fine. Okay, so that's about variables in Python. We will learn more and more in the coming days. With this session I am concluding. Thank you.